Hello, and welcome to W.A.T. News. It is May 29, 2025. Your daily AI-powered roundup of today's most relevant headlines. Faster, smarter, and always on point. In cybersecurity news, Cisco Talos has uncovered a wave of malicious campaigns where cybercriminals are disguising ransomware and malware as legitimate AI tool installers. Among the threats are CyberLock, a PowerShell-based ransomware demanding $50,000 in Monero, and W.A.T, a variant of Yashma ransomware bundled inside fake ChatGPT installers. A new destructive malware named Numero poses an even greater risk, corrupting Windows user interfaces by hijacking GUI elements and rendering systems unusable. These malicious payloads are spread through fake websites, SEO manipulation, and messaging platforms like Telegram. Victims, often in the tech and marketing sectors, are lured with promises of free AI software, only to compromise sensitive data and system functionality. Talos urges businesses to verify software sources rigorously and rely only on trusted vendors to mitigate exposure. Ransomware attacks are rising once again, with July 2022 witnessing a 47% increase in successful campaigns compared to the previous month, according to NCC Group. Lockbit 3.0 led the surge, orchestrating 62 attacks, more than double the total of the next two groups combined. Trailing behind were HiveLeaks and Blackbosta, both offshoots of the now-defunct Conti Group, marking 440% and 50% spikes in activity respectively. Analysts believe these groups are filling the vacuum left by Conti's dismantling, rapidly evolving their tactics under new identities. With nearly 200 campaigns in 1 month, experts warn organizations to remain vigilant as ransomware groups settle into more aggressive modes of operation. The resurgence signals a potential return to the high activity levels seen earlier in the year. A deceptive Facebook ad campaign is targeting users with fake Kling AI promotions, luring victims to spoofed websites where malicious downloads install remote access Trojans, RATs. The malware campaign impersonates Kling AI, a popular image and video generation platform with over 22 million users, and delivers payloads disguised as multimedia content via zip archives containing hidden executable files. Once installed, the malware exfiltrates sensitive data such as browser credentials and cryptocurrency wallet information, while evading detection by injecting into legitimate system processes. Cybersecurity firm Check Point attributes the operation to Vietnamese threat actors who have previously used similar tactics involving social media malvertising. At least 70 fake promoted posts have been identified, amplifying concerns over Facebook's growing struggle with widespread scam content. This campaign reflects a broader trend where AI branding is exploited to gain user trust and deliver advanced malware through social engineering. In technology news, a new digital camera called EchoLens is making waves ahead of its mid-June Kickstarter launch, combining the stripped-back simplicity of point-and-shoots, like the Camp Snap, with the retro flair of high-end models like Fujifilm's X100 VI. Priced under $100 for early backers, EchoLens ditches the rear LCD screen in favor of a minimalist film-style experience, complete with classic color filters and manual controls. Users can shoot up to 54 photos before offloading them via one-button Wi-Fi transfer to the cloud or smartphone, mimicking the feel of swapping film rolls. Though full specs like the lens and sensor remain under wraps, the camera includes essentials like USB-C charging, long battery life, and a shot counter on its top plate. The concept has drawn attention for making artistic, screen-free photography more accessible without the typical premium price tag. If the camera lives up to its promise, it could become a nostalgic favorite for both amateur and enthusiast photographers. With just days before launch, Nintendo has confirmed that the majority of its existing Switch library will work smoothly on the new Switch 2 console. Out of over 15,000 third-party games tested, nearly 2/3 have no issues or only minor ones expected to be fixed by launch. Most of the remaining titles are still undergoing final compatibility checks, while nearly all first-party games, aside from Nintendo Labo and some Joy-Con-dependent titles, are expected to run without problems. Nintendo is using a hybrid solution between hardware compatibility and software translation to make older games run efficiently, avoiding the performance drag of full emulation. However, non-gaming apps like Hulu and Crunchyroll won't be supported on Switch 2, signaling Nintendo's continued focus on gaming over multimedia. Free performance updates and paid upgrade packs will also be released to enhance select games for the new system. Despite some gaps, the overall transition appears to be smooth for returning players. In a major shift for digital publishing, the New York Times has signed a landmark licensing deal with Amazon, granting the tech giant access to its editorial content for training and deploying AI systems. The agreement will allow Amazon to integrate Times content, including articles, NYT Cooking, and The Athletic, across its platforms, potentially including Alexa-powered devices. This marks the Times' first partnership centered on generative AI, following its previous lawsuit against OpenAI and Microsoft for unauthorized content use. While financial terms remain undisclosed, the move signals a growing willingness among publishers to engage with AI firms on commercial terms. Amazon, which had not previously inked such licensing deals, now joins a list of tech companies legitimizing AI training with licensed media content. The Times emphasized that the partnership will ensure proper value and attribution for its journalism within the evolving AI landscape. In politics news, on May 28, 2025, President Donald Trump granted a full pardon to former U.S. Representative Michael Grimm, a Republican from New York who resigned from Congress in 2015 after pleading guilty to felony tax fraud. Grimm, a former Marine and FBI agent, admitted to underreporting over $900,000 in income from his Manhattan restaurant, Healthalicious, and served 7 months of an 8-month prison sentence. His political career was also marked by controversy, including a 2014 incident where he threatened a reporter during an interview. After leaving Congress, Grimm worked as a commentator for the conservative network Newsmax. In September 2024, he suffered a severe spinal injury during a polo match, resulting in paralysis from the chest down. Following the pardon, Grimm expressed gratitude to President Trump, stating that the clemency allows him to focus on his recovery and continue serving his community. On May 28, 2025, President Donald Trump granted a full pardon to rapper NBA YoungBoy, legally known as Kentrell Deshaun Gaulden, effectively erasing his federal convictions and probation requirements. Gaulden had been serving a 23-month prison sentence for federal firearm charges and was also on probation for related offenses in Utah, including a $200,000 fine. Released from prison in March, he had been under home confinement until the pardon lifted all remaining legal restrictions. In a public statement, Gaulden expressed gratitude to President Trump, clemency advocate Alice Marie Johnson, and his attorney Brittany K. Barnett, stating, "This moment means a lot. It opens the door to a future I've worked hard for, and I am fully prepared to step into this." The pardon has sparked controversy, with Utah law enforcement officials criticizing the decision and defending the integrity of their judicial process. With his legal issues resolved, NBA YoungBoy is set to embark on his Make America Slime Again tour starting September 2, 2025, marking his return to the music scene. In a significant escalation of U.S.-China tensions, President Donald Trump's administration announced on May 28, 2025, that it will begin aggressively revoking visas of Chinese students, particularly those with ties to the Chinese Communist Party or studying in critical fields such as science and technology. Secretary of State Marco Rubio stated that the move aims to protect national security and prevent intellectual property theft. The policy has caused widespread anxiety among the approximately 277,000 Chinese students in the U.S., who comprise nearly a quarter of all international students. Critics argue that the broad and opaque enforcement risks discrimination and undermines U.S. educational institutions. Chinese officials have condemned the move as politically motivated and discriminatory, further straining U.S.-China relations. The Trump administration has also paused new student visa interviews and plans to implement enhanced scrutiny of future visa applications from China and Hong Kong, including analysis of applicants' social media activity. This initiative is part of a broader campaign targeting foreign students and universities, which includes deportation efforts and freezing federal funds related to pro-Palestinian campus protests. Universities and students across the U.S. are bracing for the impact, with some schools implementing contingency plans. Critics argue the policy may deter international students and undermine academic exchange. The administration has also restricted funding to some institutions like Harvard, citing inadequate cooperation and policy disagreements. These developments have heightened uncertainty and anxiety among the international student community in the U.S. Let's head over to Jessica in the newsroom. Jessica, over to you.
Thanks, Heather. Let's get into the latest. In business news, Chelsea Football Club is on the verge of signing 22-year-old striker Liam Delap from Ipswich Town after activating his £30 million release clause. Delap, who netted 12 Premier League goals last season, has chosen Chelsea over other interested clubs, including Manchester United and Everton, influenced by the opportunity to reunite with manager Enzo Maresca, under whom he previously played at Manchester City's academy. This acquisition aligns with Chelsea's strategy of investing in young talent to bolster their attacking options. However, the timing of the transfer presents a dilemma, as Chelsea wants Delap to participate in the FIFA Club World Cup starting June 14th, which conflicts with his inclusion in England's Under-21 European Championship squad beginning June 11th. The club is reportedly requesting Delap to prioritize club commitments over national duties, highlighting the ongoing club versus country tensions in football. Delap's decision will not only impact his immediate playing schedule, but could also influence his future prospects with both Chelsea and the England national team. Oil prices experienced a notable decline following President Trump's announcement of potential tariffs on Colombian imports, a move linked to immigration policy disputes. Colombia, a significant exporter of crude oil to the U.S., contributes approximately 156,000 barrels per day, making it a key player in the American energy market. The prospect of tariffs raised concerns about supply disruptions, leading to a decrease in oil futures. However, after Colombia agreed to accept deported migrants on U.S. military flights, the Trump administration suspended the tariff plans, providing temporary relief to the markets. Despite this resolution, the incident underscores the volatility of oil prices in response to geopolitical tensions and trade policy shifts. Analysts caution that such uncertainties could continue to impact market stability, especially with ongoing discussions about OPEC+ production levels and global demand fluctuations. A major policy reversal by Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has removed COVID-19 vaccine recommendations for healthy children and pregnant women from the CDC's immunization schedule, sparking confusion and backlash across the medical community. The new directive, announced in a brief video alongside FDA and NIH leadership, contradicts previous guidance from the CDC and global health agencies, like the WHO, which continue to advocate for vaccinations in these vulnerable groups. Critics, including the American College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists, ACOG, have strongly condemned the decision, warning that it may erode public trust and put pregnant individuals and newborns at increased risk of severe illness. Experts also note that no new data or consultation has been presented to justify the shift, raising concerns about politicized, reactive policymaking. Despite the announcement, many providers are urging patients to follow evidence-based recommendations, citing continued scientific support for vaccination benefits. The sudden change has also left questions about insurance coverage, access, and long-term confidence in national immunization programs. In entertainment news, The Season 2 finale of HBO's The Last of Us, titled Convergence, delivers a gripping and emotionally charged conclusion that leaves viewers on edge. The episode centers on Ellie's relentless pursuit of Abby, culminating in a confrontation at a Seattle theater where Jesse is abruptly killed by Abby and Tommy is held at gunpoint. Ellie confesses to killing Abby's friends, Owen and Mel, the latter being pregnant, a revelation that adds profound weight to the narrative. The scene cuts to black as Abby fires her weapon, leaving the fate of Ellie uncertain. The episode then shifts to Abby's perspective, showing her awakening in the WLF Stadium 3 days prior, signaling a narrative pivot for the upcoming season. Co-creators Craig Mazin and Neil Druckmann have confirmed that Season 3 will delve deeper into Abby's storyline, exploring her role within the WLF and the ongoing conflict with the Seraphites. While no official release date has been announced, the next season is anticipated to premiere around late 2026 or early 2027. Actress Sydney Sweeney has partnered with natural men's grooming brand Dr. Squatch to launch a limited edition soap called Sydney's Bathwater Bliss, which includes actual droplets from her bathwater. The soap, priced at $8, features exfoliating sand, pine bark extract, and a forest-inspired scent with notes of pine, Douglas fir, and earthy moss. Only 5,000 bars will be available for purchase starting June 6, 2025, exclusively on Dr. Squatch's website. The idea originated from fan reactions to a previous Dr. Squatch advertisement featuring Sweeney in a bathtub, where viewers jokingly expressed interest in her bathwater. Embracing the humor, Sweeney decided to incorporate her bathwater into the product, stating it was a playful way to engage with fans and promote natural hygiene products. Public response has been mixed, with some praising the creativity and others expressing discomfort over the concept. Despite the controversy, the collaboration has garnered significant attention, highlighting the intersection of celebrity culture and marketing strategies. In a highly anticipated theatrical event, the original Broadway cast of Hamilton will reunite for a live performance at the 78th Annual Tony Awards on June 8, 2025. Celebrating the 10th anniversary of the show's groundbreaking debut, the reunion marks a decade since Lin-Manuel Miranda's revolutionary musical reshaped the American stage. Cast members returning for the performance include Miranda, Leslie Odom Jr., Daveed Diggs, Renee Elise Goldsberry, Philippa Sue, and many others who helped Hamilton win 11 Tony Awards. The ceremony, hosted by Cynthia Erivo, will be broadcast live from Radio City Music Hall on CBS and streamed via Paramount+. CBS called the reunion a tribute to Hamilton's enduring cultural legacy and global impact. The performance is expected to be a showstopper and a defining moment of the 2025 award season. Fans and theater enthusiasts alike are eagerly awaiting what promises to be an unforgettable night. In world news, the humanitarian crisis in Gaza has reached a critical juncture, with recent events highlighting the dire conditions faced by its residents. On May 28, 2025, a United Nations World Food Programme, WFP, warehouse in Deir al-Balah was stormed by desperate Palestinians seeking food, resulting in the deaths of 4 individuals, 2 from crushing and 2 from gunshot wounds. This incident underscores the escalating desperation among Gaza's population, exacerbated by an 80-day blockade that has severely limited the entry of humanitarian aid. The WFP has consistently warned of the deteriorating conditions, emphasizing the urgent need for a significant scale-up in food assistance to prevent further loss of life. Compounding the crisis, reports indicate that Israeli forces have opened fire on Palestinians seeking aid at distribution sites, leading to additional casualties. On June 1, 2025, at least 31 Palestinians were killed and 170 wounded near an aid distribution center in Rafah. The Israeli military has stated it is reviewing the incident, while humanitarian organizations have criticized the militarization of aid distribution and called for unimpeded humanitarian access. the international community, including the United Nations, has condemned the current aid distribution mechanisms, urging for a ceasefire and the establishment of secure corridors to facilitate the delivery of essential supplies. Without immediate action, the risk of widespread famine and further loss of life in Gaza remains imminent. A recent ruling by the U.S. Court of International Trade has declared that former President Donald Trump exceeded his authority by imposing sweeping tariffs under the International Emergency Economic Powers Act, IEEPA. The court found that the IEEPA does not grant the president the power to unilaterally impose broad import duties, such as the Liberation Day tariffs announced on April 2, 2025, which included a 10% universal tariff and higher rates on specific countries like China, Mexico, and Canada. The decision emphasized that only Congress has the constitutional authority to regulate commerce and levy taxes, including tariffs. The court's ruling has significant implications for U.S. trade policy and the balance of powers between the executive and legislative branches. In response, the Trump administration has appealed the decision, and a federal appeals court has temporarily reinstated the tariffs pending further review. The outcome of this legal battle could reshape the future of U.S. trade relations and the extent of presidential authority in economic matters. For the first time since 2012, the American flag has been raised at the U.S. ambassador's residence in Damascus, signaling a significant shift in U.S.-Syria relations. U.S. Special Envoy Thomas Barrack presided over the ceremony and met with Syrian Foreign Minister Assad al-Shaibani, marking a new chapter following the fall of the Assad regime in December 2024. While the U.S. Embassy remains officially closed, this gesture underscores Washington's intent to re-engage diplomatically with Syria's new leadership under President Ahmad al-Sharaa. Barrack emphasized the potential for peace between Syria and Israel, advocating for initial dialogues focused on non-aggression and border discussions. Additionally, a major energy agreement was signed involving Qatari, Turkish, and U.S. companies to revitalize Syria's electricity infrastructure, aiming to supply over 50% of the country's power needs. This development reflects a broader U.S. strategy to stabilize the region and support Syria's reconstruction efforts. That's your full briefing for today from W.A.T. News. If you found this briefing helpful, be sure to like, subscribe, and tap the bell so you never miss a headline. Until next time, stay sharp, stay safe, and stay curious.